This is a story about two scientists, one whose inventions poisoned the world and another who spent his life proving it.
So let's start with a mystery. Back in the late 1940s, one scientist had a problem that would change everything.
See, geochemist Claire Patterson was trying to figure out the true age of the Earth by analyzing lead in rocks. But there was a huge issue. His samples were always contaminated with hundreds of times more lead than expected.
To find the source, we've got to go back a few decades to an invention that fixed a noisy car problem.
Back then, powerful car engines had this thing called knocking, where fuel would ignite way too early.
So this young engineer, Thomas Midgley Jr., was hired to find something to stop that knock for good.
And after years of trying, Midgley found what he thought was a miracle cure: tetraethyl lead.
They called it ethyl, conveniently leaving out the lead part, and, well, it was a massive, massive hit.
But here's the thing. People knew lead was dangerous. Scientists even called it a creeping and malicious poison.
To shut everyone up, Midgley put on a show, claiming he could basically bathe in the stuff every day.
But he was lying. He actually had severe lead poisoning himself, and his own workers were getting sick.
So for decades, millions of cars just pumped tons of this toxic lead right into the air we breathe.
The result? Absolutely catastrophic. We ended up with 1,000 times more lead in our bones than our ancestors.
Just in the US, it's estimated we lost over 800 million total IQ points because of all this lead.
And it wasn't just IQ. Studies found arrested teens were 4 times more likely to have high lead levels. Which brings us back to our detective, Claire Patterson. He just had to know where this lead was coming from.
He figured it out. The lead was everywhere, in the dust, in the air. So he invented the modern cleanroom.
From inside his cleanroom, he followed the trail. He found the lead deep in the ocean, even in polar ice. The evidence was undeniable. The lead contaminating his lab was the same stuff poisoning the entire world.
You know, Midgley's legacy is just awful. He also invented Freon, the stuff that tore a hole in the ozone layer.
But Patterson, his fight for the truth is why we have a global ban on leaded gasoline today.
And because of him, the UN says we save over 1 million lives and trillions of dollars every single year.
It really makes you wonder, right? How many useful truths do we all know today that we're still not practicing?